To protect and secure Australians' interests has always been a core, if not the most important, objective and responsibility of the federal government. It's made even more difficult in the challenging world in which we live. The challenges of COVID-19 are not only testing us at home. Australia must use its agency to shape the world in our interests. This starts in our own region. This week I will join Pacific family leaders at the Pacific Islands Forum, where we can speak to another strong year of delivery in our Pacific Step Up program, led of course by the Minister for Foreign Affairs and the Minister for the Pacific. The same is true for our engagement with ASEAN, which sits at the heart of Australia's vision for the Indo-Pacific. With Indonesia, we will continue to implement our new IACPA Economic Partnership Agreement and provide support with their vaccine program. We have also recently upgraded our relationships with Vietnam, Thailand and Malaysia just last week, and have a new digital commerce agreement with Singapore. For the third year in a row, I've been invited as a guest to the G7 Summit, which will be held in June in the United Kingdom. Now, this is an important recognition that Australia's contribution is valued. Cooperation between like-minded liberal democracies, market economy nations has never been more important than it is today, and that is why I asked Matthias Cormann to be Australia's candidate for the role of Secretary-General of the OECD. And we're doing pretty well. As the world grapples with the recovery from COVID-19, this grouping, the OECD of 37 market-based economies, has a fundamental role to play in keeping markets open, bolstering the rules-based system and modernising rules for the digital economy. The geopolitical environment will remain very challenging, and I am confident that our alliance with the United States, which will turn 70 this year, will grow even stronger in partnership with the Biden administration. The defence relationship will remain the bedrock of that partnership, as we know, and our commitment to playing our part is reflected in our pledge to invest $270 billion on defence capability over the next decade. Our work in the Quad, which embraces the US, Japan and India, has been deepened and broadened, as evidenced by mine and Minister Payne's recent visits to Japan. Our cooperation with the Five Eyes nations has also grown, extending into new areas of common interest, particularly with the Treasury's involvement, areas in the economy and technology, and we need to work with our close partners to develop and protect sensitive critical technologies, including quantum computing and artificial intelligence. We will also need to secure critical mineral supply chains for the new clean energy technologies of the future. The evolution of the United States' relationship with China will shape the political environment in the foreseeable future, as it indeed has in the past. For our part, we remain committed to engaging with China. Our peoples have benefited greatly, both ways, from the depth of our economic ties. But it's not surprising there will be differences between two nations with such different economic and political systems. Our task is to ensure that such differences do not deny Australia and China from realising the mutual benefits of that partnership consistent with our own respective national sovereign interests. China's outlook and the nature of China's external engagement, both regionally and globally, it's changed since our comprehensive strategic partnership was formed, and going further back than that, certainly in the decades that have led up till now. We cannot pretend that things are as they were. The world has changed. An enduring partnership requires both of us to adapt to these new realities and talk with each other, and that begins with dialogue at both ministerial and leader level. A dialogue focus not on concessions, but on areas of mutual benefit, committed to finding a way for our nations and peoples to beneficially engage in the future. Now we, of course, Australia, we're open to such a process. We will continue to create new opportunities for our exporters. I know Minister Tehan is chomping at the bit, already out there, via a free trade agreement with the United Kingdom and their potential involvement in an expanded Trans-Pacific partnership. And I thank Minister Birmingham for the great job that he has done setting up all of those opportunities for Dan to now go and complete. And it's also about accelerating our negotiations on an ambitious and comprehensive agreement with the European Union, effectively targeting barriers for agricultural goods. And as always, we will keep Australians safe, countering the threat of terrorism and extremism with stronger laws and record investments in key agencies, countering the threat of foreign interference and espionage in defence of our national sovereignty, keeping our borders secure, taking down organised criminal gangs, and protecting families, businesses and national infrastructure safe from malicious cyber activity with our record $1.7 billion investment in cyber security. It's a big agenda.